Hello, everybody. I wanted to talk to you today about the solar plexus, right? Give you some spiritual meaning behind it, how that correlates and manifests in the physical realm, all of the above, okay? So first and foremost, the location of the solar plexus. In the sevenfold, we call it the spirit of taste, all right? The spirit of might. That's what it houses. It houses the spirit of might, your power, your core, your power center, okay? The organs that are involved with your solar plexus, liver, intestines, gallbladder, pancreas, okay? When you look at those organs from a energetic standpoint, all right, your liver stores your anger. Your gallbladder stores your rage. Your intestines can literally have knots, energetic emotional knots inside your intestines, which could affect your digestion, which could affect your blood sugar, which could affect so many different aspects of the human body and human experience, and your digestive system, quite honestly, okay? You know, a lot of times we talk about the core, all right? The core of something is the middle of something. A weak core pretty much means that the rest of the system is going to collapse. It's the same thing on the energetic spiritual level. Okay. If you have no power inside of your body, if your body is not housing any power, then that means that the rest of the body, the rest of the system will collapse. Okay. What does no power look like? This is an interesting topic, actually, because James 3 talks about taming the tongue. But, you know, I think on Sundays, they just go straight to watch your language. You know, when you bring up that scripture, when you bring up that narrative, if you will, that subject, a lot of times people just talk about, okay, hey, we got to watch the language. It's a lot more than that. Actually, it's about being disciplined. Why? Because the stomach gateway leads or starts where? The mouth. Okay. Your solar plexus center, all right, your power center starts at the mouth. What you put in it is either giving you the correct information or light information, if you will, or information that is going to send you into darkness or send you into death, send you into dis-ease, okay, disease, dis-ease. When the body's diseased, all right, it's at dis-ease, okay? So much starts right here. It's not just so much what you put out, but a lot of it is what you bring in, okay? So when we look at it from that standpoint, all right, the gut issues that you may have, and even the emotional issues that you may have, all right, it's not just that it's starting in that area, it's starting right here at the discipline of your mouth. Okay, it's starting right here at the discipline of your mouth. When you are bothered or triggered by something, a lot of times, what do? You run to what? You run to food. You run to sugar. You run to gluten. You run to bread. You run to all these things that are poisoning your body, especially poisoning your light body. What I mean by that is the optimization of your nervous system. Okay. Now, I'm not I've kind of removed myself from the calorie counting paradigm. I've removed myself from the vegan versus carnivore. Like I'm not into all that. What I'm into is consumption of light by way of biophotons. Okay. Guess what your second brain is? Your gut. Your gut. This communication via the vagus nerve and so much else, your second brain to your first brain, all right, your body mind to your head mind, okay, that communication pipeline must be clear. You cannot have optimal spiritual discernment, and you can't even operate in the spirit of discernment if you have a clogged gut. Like, I'm sorry, like even when you look at the vast majority of spiritual teachers since the beginning of time, you look at ascended masters, you look at prophets, you look at seers, you look at Jesus, you look at whoever you want to, fasting and the intake and moderation of food was very, very important. The conversation around food, the conversation around substance, the conversation around consuming things was a foundational pillar in their ministry. It was a foundational pillar in their lifestyle. Because I cannot receive power if I'm clogged up. I cannot receive energetic, spiritual, light. I can't receive that type of power if my physical vessel is full, if my physical vessel is at dis-ease. And so when we address the solar plexus center, when we address the spirit of might, spirit of taste, okay, it's not just like, oh, well, let me just, watch what I'm eating and this and that. There are things inside of your body that need to be removed. They need to be brought out so that your light and your power can manifest forward. Do you hear what I'm saying? There are things that are sitting inside of your body right now. There are things that are sitting inside of your biofield right now that need to be removed out, and you have to go on a cleanse. You have to go on a detox. You need to fast. That's even what it says in scripture. These only come out by what? Prayer and fasting. Hello. I'm not making this up. You just haven't heard the crossover between the physical and the spiritual before. Okay? So here's what I'm saying to you. If you have parasites in your body, and you have something that is sucking your life force away, your Ruach, your Chi, your Prana, however you want to describe it, okay? I'm going to use the term Ruach, all right? Life force, whatever. If you have parasites and entities inside of your body that is pulling away from your earth mission, pulling away from your earth purpose, pulling away from what it is you're supposed to be doing on this earth, you need to recognize that and you need to confront that. But you cannot confront those parasites. You cannot confront those entities. You cannot confront those demonic spirits until you confront your discipline. Let me tell you something real quick, man. We don't have a information problem in this country. We know that. We have a discipline problem. We have a discipline problem. You can't put that pork down. You can't put that candy down. You can't put that pizza down. You can't put that pie down. And all these things, I just like it so much. You don't understand. It is building a hostile army inside of your body, controlling your physical vessel. And when it does that, this becomes weak. And when the mind goes, you got nothing left. Nothing left. What causes dementia? What causes Alzheimer's? Last time I checked, it was sugar. Overly consumption of sugar over and over and over again for X amount of period of time. There might be some other factors and whatnot, lack of sunlight, lack of this, lack of that, okay? There's no doubt about it. But so much disease, so much illness starts in the gut. But before it starts in the gut, it starts in your discipline. Tame your tongue. Tame your tongue. Begin to engage in warfare via discipline. Maybe you can't do a 21-day fast. Maybe you can't just eat only living food right now, right? Things that contain biophotons, fruit, vegetables, whatever the case may be. But you can stop eating at 6 o'clock and not eat to the next day until 6 a.m. Give yourself a 12-hour window to just allow the body to work for itself. Give it rest. Give it rest. Once you master giving it rest, your digestive system giving it rest, okay, now we can move a little bit. Now we can add on some herbs. Now we can add in some dandelion root, some senna leaf, some soursop. We can move stuff out. But none of that stuff matters if you ain't got no discipline. You got to quit being sorry. You got to quit being so soft when it comes to your life, when it comes to your spiritual life, when it comes to your physical life. Quit being soft. Your number one competition is not the man or woman next to you. Hello. It's not. You know what it is? The person in the mirror. I'm looking at myself in the phone right now. It's the person I'm looking at right now. That's my number one competition. That's my number one competition. I don't know about you, but that's my number one competition. And if you're saying that's not, you haven't really pulled back the layers yet of who you need to be fighting against. You need to be fighting against this third dimensional self of yours. You need to be making sure that you have an optimal relationship with the Creator, and you're able to hear the Spirit, and you're able to move forward in your life. I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm talking to somebody. And a lot of the times, what happens is you receive revelation, but you reject it. You know why you reject it? Because your discipline and those parasites and everything else is all on the other side of where you're trying to go. And they're saying, no. Your discipline's saying, oh, I don't need to do this today. No, we'll start tomorrow. The parasites in you saying, feed me, more sugar, more candy, more this, more that. You know, when you look at parasites from a spiritual context, okay, this is pretty interesting. You know, a lot of the times, a lot of spiritual people in my space, or people who have an awareness of how the spirit manifests into the physical, a lot of the times that they say, and I agree with this, that parasites are demonic entities. Parasites are actually demonic entities sitting inside your body. So here's what I have to say about that. If something is pulling you away from the light that you're supposed to be expressing, then by all means, yes, we need to rebuke it. That is a demonic entity inside of your body. Yes, and you might have a whole lot of them. You know why people were told not to eat pork? It's not just like, oh, the new covenant, this and that. Pork is the only meat that you can't cook the parasites out of. Pork, crustaceans, vultures, it's all in the same family. Do we realize this? It's all in the same family. Now, it's even worse now because we're at a point in life to where human DNA is being found in McDonald's burgers. So now you're a cannibal. Not only are you eating straight up parasites and just consuming parasites because it tastes so good, right? We got to feed those things that we got to feed the flesh. But now they're actually finding human DNA in McDonald's burgers. And I'm sure there's some DNA in some of the other fast food chains as well too. But Cory, it tastes so good. Do you want to live or do you want to die? I'm here to represent the land of the living, not the land of the death. And a lot of you may agree with me on that, but you can't represent the land of the living when you're still choosing death. Hello. I'm gonna say it again. You cannot represent the land of the living when you are still choosing death. So what are you going to choose today? What are you going to choose today? When are you going to start hydrating and flushing out your body and hydrating your cells? You know your body is bioelectric. You know you're an electrical being. Do you know that? I hate this narrative. There's a, I'm stepping away from the strength and conditioning profession, that industry, if you will. I'm still doing what I'm doing, but that industry, and I'm noticing that I now see the ignorance behind it in the Western colonization mind that's behind it. I saw a video recently that said fascia doesn't matter. Do you know your fascia is a quantum computer? It's piezoelectric. It extends all the way to the throne room of heaven. And you got the nerve to say it doesn't matter? It's an antenna. Your whole life is stored inside of your fascia. A lot of the times we can't take a deep breath because our diaphragm is stuck. That's our solar plexus, right? Right in the middle, right below the sternum there, okay? A lot of times we're stuck in this area because of so much trauma that is held right there. You know what's holding that trauma right there? All you professionals? Fascia. Your fascia. Because your fascia is living and your fascia keeps score. It keeps score of everything that has happened to you in your life. Everything. So yes, it does matter. It does matter, okay? When you start to detox and when you start to take control of your solar plexus, your spirit of taste, your spirit of might, when you start to regain your power back, when you start to regain your power back, here's what we got to start doing, okay? Yes, discipline, cleansing protocols, but you need to learn how to breathe. You need to learn how to breathe. So many Americans don't know how to breathe. We're stuck in this position right here. We breathe into our chest. We breathe into fight or flight. Parasympathetic system is not working, just straight up sympathetic. Always on edge. Can't even put our shoulders down. When you breathe, when you make space down there and you tell your body to relax and you command that anger and that frustration to leave your body, when you command it to leave your body, okay, then you begin to gain air. You begin to gain that Ruach, that life force energy, that breath of life, that spirit of life, the great spirit, as the Native Americans called it. You begin to expand. Your field begins to expand the same way that your rib cage begins to expand. When's the last time you took a deep breath and your rib cage just expanded? You just filled yourself with power. That chest rose up, okay? Ribs got wider, belly expanded, your low back, your QLs, everything just became just one strong tree trunk. When's the last time that happened to you? Don't you know that's what's supposed to happen? That's how we're supposed to live. That's how we're supposed to breathe. That's how we're supposed to allow our field to expand. This golden aura of light just sit around us. Okay. Now, when you look at that, all right, you look at the space of where that's at. It sits right below your heart center, and it sits right above your sacral center. Okay, your solar plexus is connected and is just extremely dynamic to. It's in a extremely dynamic spot in your body. All right. When you look at the sevenfold energy system, right, everything works in harmonics. So it goes crown to root, root to third eye to sacral, sacral to throat, throat to solar plexus. How can I speak from power if I have no space from power? So remember, the throat and the solar plexus are connected. Spirit of speech, spirit of taste. How can I not project, but how can I proclaim my power verbally and speak life over myself when I have no life inside of me? You see how the system works? It's a spiral, not linear. It's not linear, it's a spiral. Okay? So I just wanted to give you a brief introduction of what this thing actually is. What these solar plexus actually is about. It's about discipline, first and foremost, through the tongue, through your gateway, okay? And it's about being able to hold power in this space so that I can project and maximize the light that is inside of me. Express. I don't want to use that word project. Express the light that is inside of me. But I can't do that when my rib cages are collapsed. Or my rib cage is collapsed. I can't do that when my diaphragm is stuck underneath my sternum and I can't get a deep breath. I can't do that. Well, my vagus nerve is disconnected because there's a knot right here in my stomach. I can't do that. I'm gonna give you another one right now, okay? If you want to just stand up sometimes, just put your hands underneath your rib cage and pull apart. Literally pull it apart and breathe into that space. You might have a little bit of emotion. You might have some anger that builds up, okay? You may have some rage that begins to manifest because that is what's sitting inside your body. Take time to just rub your stomach, massage your own stomach. Let's if you can't do anything else, just do that. Massage your own stomach. Take your hand, rub your hands together. Rub your hands together first, okay? If you want to feel that field for a second, you can. Put it skin on skin, all right? And rub your stomach, just massage. And allow your just wake your digestive system up. Wake it up. Let it know that it's time to release some stuff. Speak over it. Speak life over your body. But in order for you to do that, you need to make sure that you're ingesting and you're taking in the right things as well too. You got to clear space, okay? So that's just a few things that I want to go over in regards to the solar plexus and give you a different aspect of it, all right, or a different viewpoint, okay? When this area is blocked, yes, you have digestive issues. Yes, you have this, you have that. However, from an athletic and performance standpoint, all right, when this area is blocked and you look at how the fascia travels throughout your body, this electrical system that we have, okay, you're going to have some low back issues. You're going to have some psoas hip flexor issues as well too, okay? Another thing too is where the rib and gallbladder sits underneath your ribs, where it sits in your body. If you're holding on to a lot of anger, you're holding on to a lot of rage, that stuff is going to begin to lock down and pull your shoulders down, pull that that joint down, which is going to cause some minor issues, cause some pectoral issues, and cause some shoulder issues. Okay, so like I said, this is your tree trunk right here, this middle point. And when it's collapsed, the whole system collapses. Okay, I'll be posting more, obviously, and sharing more information about the solar plexus, but I wanted to give you a brief introduction today. Be blessed. Peace. Sevenfold Performance.